So I should encourage them either to buy it or lend it.
I don't know. We give our films away and they're number one. So, but I mean, you're probably right. I mean, they should, but you know, they'd rather just go play golf. Of course, they might want to know why their sons and daughters aren't as smart as them. I mean, maybe they think that's kind of cute. Hey, Junior can't really talk and he's 8 years old, like a lot of kids now. But that's just freedom. You know, fight Al Qaeda, drink fluoride. Let's talk to Ted. Go ahead and put your headphones on there, Doc. Thank you. How's the audio there? Sound good?
I can't get anything at the moment. It's silence.
All right, we'll see if you can hear a caller. Ted in Texas, you're on the air. Go ahead, Ted.
All right, thanks for taking my call. Dr. Connett, I have a science question for you and then maybe a general question for both of you. Let's see.
Okay, we're getting his audio turned up. We need to.
It's fine.
Okay, go ahead now, sir. Go ahead and ask your question.
All right, Dr. Connett, in Austin, I'd like to see if you could use Austin as an example with just pure science on this, to say Austin says that their fluoride is 0.5 parts per million, and I was just wondering what you would say as how long it would take to bioaccumulate, when that would be harmful at 0.5, and then for both you guys, you know, on the Austin City website, it says, you know, the CDC has recognized water fluoridation as one of the 10 great public health achievements of the 20th century. So with people saying that, have there been positive results?
No, it's all propaganda. Ted, I appreciate your call. Let's get a comment.
Yeah, I was very interested. I met Bill Kyle from Alamo Heights, so they stopped fluoridating there, or didn't start fluoridation there. One of the things that Bill Kyle told me just a few days ago was, when the citizen asked him to look at the literature, he didn't go to the anti-fluoridation literature. He went to the pro-fluoridation literature, and he decided, as a professional geophysicist who's headed up research laboratories for Shell Oil Company, he said it was so much junk. It was just clearly propaganda. So it was the pro-fluoridation literature that convinced him that fluoridation was unacceptable, and they managed to keep it out of Alamo Heights. Yes, this Center of Disease Control statement that fluoridation, one of the top 10 public health achievements of the 20th century, as Alex says, total propaganda. It was written by two people, a guy that had never written anything on fluoridation before, and an economist, two people from the Oral Health Division. In this paper that supported the statement, they were 6 years out of date on the health literature. They cited a review from 1993. Their evidence that fluoridation worked was pitiful. They showed a graph showing the tooth decay in 12-year-olds coming down between the 60s and the 90s, and on the same graph, a line going up suggesting the percentage of the population drinking.
But, Doctor, in fact, he won't believe it. Guys, queue up. We're going to do 5 minutes into overdrive, only 5 minutes, because he's got to go after that. Queue up, news says mercury is good for children's brains. This was a national CBS piece, but they also covered it locally. And so it's perception management. Next, they're going to say cyanide is good.
Yeah. And
next, they're going to say when you're dead that you're really still alive. Like, oh, he's in the ground now, but he's down there happy. They know what they're doing, Doctor.
That's exactly. You know, the American Dental Association published an article shortly after they found an increase in osteosarcoma in the communities who were fluoridated in the United States in an animal study. And they published an article which says, oh, guess what? Fluoridation is actually protective against osteosarcoma. So that's just an industrial trick. If you come out with a problem, they come out with a study which says the exact opposite. They did the same thing with hip fracture. Studies were...
And now mercury, one of the most tested things ever, correct me if I'm wrong as a toxicologist, I mean, they've been testing that for hundreds of years. And now, in fact, do we have the clip of them saying mercury's good for you? Here is...
It's incredible.
Here is... No, I mean, this is taught in schools now. They actually now, if you go to the local health food store because they said this, I have vitamins in there that I bought that actually says mercury. Yes, I'm not kidding.
It's incredible.
Here it is. Here it is.
Mercury-containing vaccines may have on kids.
A life-saving device wins over-the-counter approval by the FDA.
And sick of your glasses and contact lenses, a new corrective eye surgery is approved today. Here's tonight's medical headlines with Medical Watch reporter Seema Mather.
Mercury-containing vaccines may help, not harm kids, according to two new studies in the journal Pediatrics. There have been widespread concerns that mercury-based preservatives in vaccines might impair the neurological development of children. These new studies suggest that the opposite, that the preservatives may actually be associated with improved behavior and mental performance.
Okay, so for them, improved performance is being brain damage. Now, let me expand. Now they admit they want the lithium to make us more manageable. Now, expanding on that, Doctor, I could play the clip, but we're almost out of time. We'll go to more calls. I have the news clips where they came out. China executed people for melamine in milk. I have the FDA now saying melamine doesn't hurt children and might be good.
Incredible. You know, it's total schizophrenia on organic mercury. You know, the concern, we're concerned about trash incinerators, power stations, dental offices putting mercury into the environment. The concern is that the mercury will eventually get into the sediments of the lakes and be converted to organic mercury, accumulate up the food chain. And we are concerned about pregnant women eating the large fish and getting this organic mercury into their babies. And on the other half of the American government, they are injecting organic mercury directly into the baby's bloodstream, at one point 100 times the level, the total, that was safe to eat.
But they said it's good for their brain, Doctor. Everybody knows mercury.
I think that's an absolute classic case of what I was talking about.
No, I mean, look, they know what they're doing.
Well,
I mean, you talked about, at the EPA that they only have filtered water.
You know, one of the guys that was quoted a lot, a Danish guy who was quoted by the CDC to say that thimerosal in vaccine was no problem, I think it came out, he absconded with about $1 million of the research money. So, there's a lot of corruption.
Let's jam one more call, and we're going to come back with 5 more minutes. Let's talk to Rick in New York. You're on the air with Dr. Paul Connett. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Keep up the good work, Alex. Yesterday in the Times Record, Middletown, New York, they had a story about taking the fluoride pills that they give the children every day for years. Stop giving them the fluoride pills they get in these big industrial-sized bottles. And just one breaking news story about the CNN right now. They've been talking about Barry Soetoro's going to school. That was the name he used. And all day long they've been mentioning that. I figured I'd let you know that, Alex.
Well, finally coming out. Yeah, what about these fluoride pills, Doc? I mean,
it's ridiculous. The doctors and pediatricians have been giving these fluoride tablets to pregnant women and drops to babies for many, many years, and now they're saying it doesn't work.
But it does work. It lowers the IQ.
But the doctors are still...
Have a little cancer, sweetie K.
We need to warn parents make sure that babies don't swallow fluoride.
All right, Doc, stay there. We're going to come back in 70 seconds, try to jam in Mike, Mary, and Chris, and we'll let our guests go. Stay with us.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Alex told you the government announced recently that the recession is over. It ended on June of 2009. The millions of Americans unable to find work might not agree. Perhaps the recession ended for the bankers and government employees, but for the rest of us, things seem to be getting worse. Gold and silver haven't heard the news either. They've begun their long-expected journey to the moon. In addition to converting your shrinking dollars into gold and silver, you should consider a food savings account from eFoods Direct. They both make fabulous investments. Food is our greatest dependency, and we know it will be more precious than any financial resource. You and your family need food to survive a crisis, and you can't eat paper, stocks, or metals. Alex has been urging you to invest in delicious, easy-fix meals to enjoy now or save for long-term. This will freeze the cost of your food while you can still afford it. Visit efoodsdirect.com on the internet or call 800-409-5633. That's efoodsdirect.com or 800-409-5633.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones.
We're going to zoom in here so you can see Spider-Man for the children, AIM toothpaste, Marvel Bubbleberry. Children love Bubbleberry. And, of course, he's a mutant. He's been. So, I mean, I guess it is okay. You want to be like Spider-Man. Of course, you won't have superpowers. You'll be mentally retarded. But it says, it says, warning, keep out of reach of children under 6 years of age. Because, kids always want to eat toothpaste. If more then used for brushing is accidentally swallowed, get medical help or contact poison control right away.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And isn't it irresponsible for them to make this attractive for kids? It says, keep out of the way of 6-year-olds.
They're making them take toys out of Happy Meals because of some cholesterol. But here, have it.
Thank you very, very much. This is hazardous waste, you know. If I had to get rid of this, it's hazardous waste.
Unbelievable. Dr. Connett, it is really great. I hope you'll come back in person sometime.
I would love to.
Again, this has been amazing. Yeah. Let's talk to Mike in California. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex. How's it going?
Good, good. We've only got a few minutes left. What's your question?
All right. Big fan. I'm going to start wearing a chem suit to the supermarket for a non-organic protest. My question is about the pineal gland. I've read all the Chinese and the European studies. If you go to Google and Google pineal cadaver, it'll be the third link. It's called fluoride deposition in the aged human pineal gland.
Yep.
Does it artificially age it and calcify?
Calcifies it. So
what does it do to the pineal gland, Doc?
It accumulates in the pineal gland. It's like a magnet for fluoride. It has the pineal gland in this study that this gentleman is referring to has the highest concentration of fluoride than any other.
And that's called the seat of the soul. I mean, that's
seat of the soul, the third eye. It makes melatonin, but only at night. And melatonin controls all kinds of timed events, from aging, sleep patterns.
Oh, and of course they knew that. Oh, but they care about us.
And nobody has attempted to reproduce this study by Jennifer Luke, who I've met. We've given her PhD thesis to health agencies in this country. They haven't attempted to reproduce it or either of her studies.
Yeah, but attacking the core of your brain is a loving thing.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely amazing how utterly irresponsible they are. They give every indication of working backwards. This project, this practice, this program appears to be more important to them to protect than our children. And that is extraordinary. And that explains...
They were protecting kids in Guatemala, shooting them up with syphilis. I mean, come on, Doc. Come on. Now you're going to tell me syphilis is bad. I mean, he's going to tell me mercury's bad. This guy's crazy. Yes. We're nuts. I admit it. I'm a screwball, man. It's great to calcify your pineal gland.
You're so hard to convince, Alex.
We're going to jam in one final call. Chris in Florida, you are so evil. You're not going to tell me this guy's good, are you?
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Alex. Hey, we have a local commissioner here, Susan Latvala, whose current husband is instrumental in getting Tampa Bay Water founded, and they control their privatized water that controls the Tampa Bay area. Last year, when a friend and I went in to meet with her privately to dispel some misinformation as she perceived it regarding the fluoridation issue, she said what Big Phosphate wants, Big Phosphate gets.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's Mosaic in this case, Mosaic Company. And, and this is Tampa Bay Water, like I said, privatized, and she's saying that they run a tight ship this year at their rate increase hearing. Of course, Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch are involved in this toxic derivatives mess, and they ought to be in jail.
Well, Chris,
also,
we're out of time, but another great point, because it's also from the fertilizer mining. Yeah. And they just take rock and get all these different chemicals out of it needed by plants, but it also has the fluoride.
Yeah, that's right. They heated up the sulfuric acid. These very toxic gases come out, which decimated vegetation, crippled cattle for about 100 years. They finally worked out they needed to capture these gases. They used a spray of water. We get hexafluorosilicic acid. We're protecting the air, but we shove it straight back into the water supply.
Well, it is for our children, Doctor.
Yes, well, we got to warn parents not to give this stuff.
But look, there's a baby on the water. There's Spider-Man. Are you against Spider-Man?
No, I'm not against Spider-Man.
All right, folks, we're out of time. The case against fluoride, Dr. Paul Connett. Get it out to everybody. God bless you, sir. Great to have you.
Thanks, Alex, very much indeed.
You bet. That was amazing. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Take a minute and hear what I'm about to tell you. You might have heard about Life Change Tea on a radio commercial or a TV commercial. And you did what many people do. You tuned out. I understand. Now the facts. When health fails,